Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers hold Buddha Day ceremony in an indigenous tribe. A Chinese couple promotes mindfulness and meditation through an online program. Welcome to the Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. To mark the Buddha Day, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers have traveled to an indigenous village in Sukan Pampan to hold Buddha Day ceremony. The indigenous care recipients seized the occasion to pay respect to the Buddha and express their gratitude for their parents. Putting their palms together and bowing respectfully, the 4 generations of indigenous people worship the Buddha with the volunteers.
I've prayed that my business will improve. I've also prayed for my children. I pray that my family can be safe and I can have an easier time making money.
The small Buddha altar is simple, but its meaning is significant. 8 Kontatingi Tzu Chi volunteers have come to Sukan Pampan indigenous tribe to invite 32 indigenous care recipients to join the Buddha Day ceremony.
The residents of the indigenous village seldom come into contact with outside the world. Through this small activity, we want to inspire their respect for the Buddha.
We can continue to hold the activity so we can gather together. We have become closer to our family.
Meanwhile, children express their gratitude for their parents by performing a foot bathing ceremony as well as offering tea, flowers, and thank you cards.
Thank you, Dad, for taking care of us. I feel bad that I often disobey my father.
Being aware of the pandemic, the adults and children take out their field coin banks to help the needy.
We are willing to help people regardless of their ethnicities. Look, when we face difficulties, you have helped us.
Volunteers have brought indigenous families love and care, warming up their hearts. In the Philippines, the Buddha Day ceremony was held in the small Jingsi Square of the Tzu Chi Philippines ground. Through a virtual meeting, everyone joined the Buddha Day ceremony in Taiwan. After the ceremony, volunteers initiated bamboo coin bag donation to raise love for India.
The small Jingsi Square in the Tzu Chi Philippines ground has a round platform in the middle holding Buddha's altars. Volunteers and employees lined up neatly to join the Buddha Day ceremony in Huanan through the internet.
Under the current pandemic circumstances in the Philippines, we did not invite too many volunteers for this Buddha Day ceremony, but I am very grateful for still having Tzu Chi commissioners, Tzu Chi, and more than 80 colleagues join today. Everyone is able to join today's event, so we have to be grateful.
Affected by the pandemic, the number of people participating in the Buddha Day ceremony is limited. Yet it does not hinder volunteers' desire to pay respect to the Buddha and to be grateful to the land. For anti-epidemic purpose, volunteers used fresh fruits, which could be taken back home for eating, instead of flowers as offerings.
At this moment when the pandemic is so severe, we can still see several Tzu Chi brothers and sisters who are so pious here. I am very grateful for having this opportunity that we can pay respect to the Buddha devoutly.
After the Buddha Day ceremony, volunteers prayed for the countries which are hit hard by the pandemic, such as India and Nepal. Also, by collecting donations from bamboo coin banks, volunteers could get a more kind power.
The Master is now calling on us. The blessed people should cultivate blessings. Now we all know that India is severely affected by the pandemic. There's hope that the support will come from all around the world, so we in the Philippines should contribute our part too.
The blessed people can help those in need. Everyone did not hesitate to give, benefiting the world with infinite blessings.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Australia held Buddha Day ceremonies to mark the Buddha Day, Mother's Day, and Global Tzu Chi Day. In Australia, many people brought their whole family to participate to receive blessings during the pandemic.
In Melbourne, Tzu Chi volunteers have not held any activities for more than a year. However, to mark Tzu Chi 5th anniversary, everyone gathered at the liaison office to attend Buddha Day ceremony.
Being able to come back to the Tzu Chi office feels like going home again. That feeling is really good and warm.
In order to follow pandemic prevention measures, technology was used to allow the public to enter the venue. Tzu Chi also set up a Buddha statue altar in the garage to demonstrate it to the public before the ceremony, allowing everyone to come together with the greatest joy.
I want to give myself a gift, so I came to the office to participate in Buddha Day ceremony, which can settle my heart and let my heart take a good rest.
In Perth, young and old come together to participate in Buddha Day ceremony. Many people especially brought along their bamboo banks to share their love and kindness. For the convenience of the elderly, the electric ladder is installed. In front of Buddha's statue altar, use the hot lamp as a guide, step by step to pray for the world piously.
All natural and man-made disasters, especially pandemics that are particularly anxious, can end soon.
The Western Australia Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce also participated for the first time and felt Dharma joy after attending the ceremony.
From March to May, Tzu Chi volunteers have been lending a helping hand and using their weekend time to help the residents affected by the forest fire rebuild their homes.
In the Gold Coast, Tzu Chi invited people to attend the Buddha Day ceremony. It is presented in Chinese and English, and there is no religious differences. Tzu Chi also took the opportunity to provide people with vegetarian lunches and look forward to eating vegetarian food together to protect animals.
I decided that 1 or 2, maybe even 3 days a week would be good for me and for my family, and of course for the environment, because I don't want to kill some animals.
Everyone is grateful for the grace of Buddha and also conveys the compassion to the earth and prays for the peace.
After the pandemic struck, a survey has found that about 25% of Americans have become more reliant on alcohol, and about 50% of parents have felt more pressure. Therefore, mindfulness and meditation have become much needed in America. A Chinese psychiatrist and his wife have been promoting mindfulness and meditation in the United States for more than 20 years.
We meditate after waking up. We will meditate for about 40 to 45 minutes.
Peter Lin and his wife, who have been promoting meditation and reduction of pressure with mindfulness for more than 20 years, have built up the habit of daily meditation. Buddha Dharma and mindfulness have become important tools for Lin to provide psychological consultation, especially after the pandemic took place.
Any disasters or pandemic allow us to reflect upon ourselves. In American society, people value individualism or personal rights. Therefore, it is easy to create conflicts. Eastern culture promotes benefiting oneself and the public. So I think we can learn from Eastern culture and say that while freedom is important, when we enjoy freedom, we should also give other people freedom.
For many years, Lin has been teaching mindfulness-related courses in university psychology major. He intends to promote Buddha Dharma and meditation. However, Lin's 30 years of Tzu Chi volunteer experience has helped him teach Americans Buddha Dharma.
It is easier to introduce Buddhist teachings to people using the word mindfulness. Tzu Chi emphasizes practicality, and one fast way to get rid of worries is to witness people's suffering and counting one's own blessings.
Okay, so we're gonna do C major scale.
Lin's wife Joanne Chan is a music professor. She has incorporated mindfulness into music.
It's a mindfulness
practice that, as a musician, we need to be more sensitive and more aware.
After the pandemic struck, students faced the pressure of learning and living. Joanne Chan and other professors have offered mindfulness-related courses, incorporating mindfulness into music.
Tzu Chi talks about mindfulness in action. You must have empathy. Music is a scenario and a story. It's similar to care recipients, a group of people. We listen to their stories.
Is on the expression of Zen through caring, service.
The couple uses their expertise and produces an online spiritual program, Cafe 229, at Dai Humanitarian Culture Center since September of last year. When people feel helpless about the pandemic, they invite Buddhists, philosophers, and psychiatrists, including Dalai Lama's translator, to share their inner thoughts.
This cafe 229 helps people reflect upon themselves and think that life's meaning does not lie in its length but in its depth. How do we promote Buddha Dharma to Westerners? We use what they understand. While they might not be wearing blue and white uniform, they might be interested in the Master's principles.
In February, they presented themes on art. Joanne Chang, who hosts the program, invites photographers, martial artists, and musicians to share their life philosophies. Surprisingly, it allows Chang's American students and friends to learn about Tzu Chi's principles.
Through music, I can tell my students about compassion and charity, sharing kind thoughts with everyone. This program is a good platform for me.
The pandemic crisis has allowed Buddhist teachings to spread in the West and facilitated a platform to spread Dharma teachings with technology. The program Cafe 229 has brought Western audience closer to Tzu Chi.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to Cafe 229.
People who pursue money and assets may not end up being happy. Today we visit people who use their hard work to help others. In Lishan, Mr. Wang, who grows fruits, has become a Tzu Chi honorary board member 9 times. And in Taipei, Ms. Huang works humbly as a house cleaner and has achieved this milestone 13 times.
爸爸妈妈在山上工作真的很辛苦，都已经65岁，还在外面帮人家打扫。他就说：“我这个月又赚了4万，这个月又赚了5万。”他是磨手皮赚来的钱。然后我就说：“哇，你还比我们厉害！为什么？就是妈妈不要去过更好的生活，她就觉得够用就好，就是生气就是很节俭啊。”
When it rains, I use a pot to catch the water. It's okay to live here because it doesn't rain every day.
At an altitude of 2,000 meters, Lishan fruit trees are planted in this hillside. Today, there are many steep orchards that cars can't reach. It's not easy to build a simple building here, as this note on the ceiling shows how many years have passed. For 40 years, Wang Yulan's life has remained very simple.
After a week of marriage, I came up with 2 suitcases. More than 40 years have passed in a flash. Time is worthless as it passes without coming back. So we need to grasp the moment. This is very important. It's like money has 4 feet, while humans just have 2. So in any means, the one with 2 feet can't keep up with the 4 feet. Only if the 4 feet follow our 2 feet can we keep it. How do the 4 feet follow the 2 feet? You have to give it up first before you can get it. If you are willing to give it up, then you can get it.
Even if I didn't give it up, I can still get it. I got the spiritual happiness, and I got the filial piety of my children, and the health of my body. Because money is just a game with numbers, and you don't need it. I do not eat out, do not buy drinks, and do not buy lunch boxes. $30 is enough for me. I only spent $15 last month. I can save $2,000 a month, and I will donate all of it. We need to make a vow first, just like the master, who did not have so much money to build Tzu Chi Hospital. Yet, she made a vow to build it, and did it step by step. I learned from the master. I'm very happy when I go out in the morning. I just have to climb to the Chengde Bridge. You see, my life has started to pick up. Today I came back and earned $100, which can help a lot of people.
Sitting in a transport cage is relatively easy. We have no other way as we are old and without the physical strength to take them down the road. If you add our ages together, we are more than 150 years old. The master said that we can put 50 years with the Buddha, so now he is 34 years old while I'm 24. We are still young. If I don't have any money, I'll ask the apples, pears and peaches to help me and produce a little more. Then I can donate the money to the master to build a hospital to save people. Your merit is sprogness, and good things are done together.
These hands are sincerely joined together as she believes that everything in nature is alive. Although these hands have swollen knuckles, are bent and deformed from years of hard work, she has absolutely no regrets.
Because I have been working for a long time, bringing grags, carrying water, and twisting mops. It is a lot of work.
We asked her how your hands end up like this, and she just replied that these are diamonds given to her by Bodhisattva.
Being a Tzu Chi honorary board member 13 times means we donate our love and do not care about that name. Just keep donating, because doing good deeds is not a one-time thing, but actually lasts forever.
Making a donation to be a Tzu Chi honorary board member is simply an honorary title that does not include any special authority.
Donating to be an honorary board member 9 times isn't about money, as you need physical strength to make money.
When I didn't make a vow before, the annual harvest was not good, which has lasted for 12 years. When I made a big vow, you see, I paid off my doubts. And I can donate money also. So actually this donation doesn't leave me with less money.
The sutra written in the book and the truths from famous teachers may not be relatable to real-life experience, so Wang Yulan came up with a simple and easy-to-understand theory of cause and effect.
For example, if my bank deposits are only $300, then I only have $300 to receive. You don't have an extra dollar. Whatever comes out today is our willingness to do more, doing more and gain more, do less and lose more. If you do good things, you won't waste your time. It's worth it.
How can we curse ourselves and say we keep this money for use later when we get sick? Then we will use the money when I get sick. It's quite difficult. We might as well give money to those in need.
In 2013, Typhoon Haiyan struck the central part of the Philippines. 8 years after the disaster, a group of children who experienced the typhoon have grown up. So the University of Science and Technology opened a special program aimed at training Philippine foreign caretakers. In 2019, the program went to Ormoc and 18 students were recruited.
阿嬷，你喝水了吗？有。你的家属会来家里吗？礼拜4，对吗？大家好，皆さん，我是邓文安，我来自菲律宾欧莫克。
Because of the high tuition fees at universities in the Philippines, I cannot continue my studies. I've been looking for opportunities to study. I did not give up. My aunt is a Tzu Chi volunteer who lives in the Great Love Village. She told me about this opportunity to study in Taiwan. I'm very happy because I can continue my studies and I can then help my parents financially and also help other people.
The elderly population is increasing, and the government is now promoting long-term care 2.0. We have heard many news media saying that long-term care resources are very scarce, especially from light care workers. This platform is in line with government policy, and our school has a social responsibility. So, we should cultivate the talents that will be needed by society. The first and second floors are the nursing home, and the basement is the training center for the long-term care department. We train between 200 and 300 nursing attendants every year. Most of our 130 elderly people have disability, and more than half of them have dementia. There are also cases requiring kidney dialysis, and there are also special wound care. Therefore, the unique thing about our nursing home is that our care recipients need more care, with manpower allocation requirements being relatively high. This is the difference between us and other nursing institutions.
很痛吗？喝水一下。妈妈，吃多一点。很冷。很痛啊。
Sometimes the Chinese they speak is very complicated, but sometimes they speak Taiwanese and even indigenous language. I speak and read Chinese every day. I do listen to Taiwanese and I practice speaking Chinese with the elderly patients here.
In fact, the university has trained them very well. They have a basic understanding of the care for the elderly and those with dementia. They are all able to handle a shift change. Which person is doing well today, how he is eating or urinating. They can discuss their mental status and they can also write it down. In the past, we still have to work with foreign caregivers for at least half a month to teach them and at least 6 months before they can work independently. Although they are only interns, they are good helpers.
In 3 semesters, he won the Merit Scholarship in 2 semesters, and he was the top student. I think he is very good and he does not hesitate to encourage his classmates. He participated in the school writing competition at the time. He had to work hard for his success and didn't make excuses for failure. Everything is difficult at the beginning, but as long as you work hard, everything will be solved. I think he is studying very hard and he is not afraid of difficulties. I believe that he will also be a good caregiver in the future.
等一下，加班啊！
你现在加班还没来？
对，还没来。看到他们大家。
Seeing their family members and these elders be very happy makes my heart feel joy. We use love and patience like treating our own family.
In Taiwan, high school students will soon take the high school educational exam. To calm their minds, the volunteers have held a blessing event at a high school in Kaohsiung. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.